So yes, so once you've got HyperPay installed, then you can open the directory. You can actually find the exe file and save it as a shortcut on your desktop, or alternative, you can just do it through accounting as well. So HyperPay is actually designed for fast distribution of payments for multiple customer orders. So this process would normally have application for the administrators in your business when they're allocating payments directly deposited into your bank account. So that's in contrast to a walk-in customer who wants to pay an account and anybody in the store applies the payment. So to access HyperPay, we go up to File, so accounting first, then File, and then HyperPay. So once this little screen opens here, this is where we create what we call payment sets. So if you can imagine that you've got your bank statement in front of you and you're looking at all the direct deposits that have come in overnight. So the first thing you would do is go to the register here and select the drop-down box and select your direct deposit register. The date defaults here to today's date. So if that happens to be yesterday's date you're looking at the bank statement, you then just alter that when and if required. So to add a payment set, what you do is select the green plus insert button. And if you have an invoice number from your client, you can add it straight there in the order number, or an easy way to find the customers is to select the F8 at the end of the order number field. So this will show all the orders with monies owing. So all of these tabs at the top, the customer, ship to address, job number, order number, they are all searchable fields. And then you can use the balance due column on the left-hand side to verify balances and narrow down the list. So once you're here and you've got the job highlighted, so we're going to choose Raywin Best here, you highlight her record and give it the selection finger. This brings it through to this screen, and this is where, if they're making a part payment, you can put the part payment in there. So say, for instance, this one here is just a deposit on this job and we're taking $5,000. And then you may put a comment here that it is the deposit. You say OK, and that brings it through to the browse screen. So you repeat that until you've got all of your jobs in here that you're wanting to pay, and well, I've chosen one that was too old. There we go. So I'll just choose another one. So we've got just 3 there. So once you've repeated that process and you've got all the payments that have come through on the bank statement, you can actually leave that if you need to. If you get part way through a job like many of us do and then we are called away to do something else, you can actually close out of the HyperPay or the payment set and then actually go back into it here, and the payment set will be sitting there for you to continue on or to actually finalise and print. The other thing is that you can also have multiple users operating on different payment sets or even on the same payment set. So you could have another administrator user who was coming in here and adding to this for the payment set of the day. Once they're all there, we can preview this posting before we actually post it to the customer record by using the magnifying glass, and it prints a nice little preview payment report for you to look at. And if you're happy with that, to post these payments through to these customer orders, you then select the post payments icon, which is beside the magnifying glass. And it tells you that it's going through to the direct deposit, and you say yes, and that posts the payment through. That report is then able to be printed off for you and for your records that you have allocated that monies to that job. So that's basically HyperPay. It's very easy and a very painless way to add payments to the jobs without going individually into each record in order entry. So just before showing MultPay, just a reminder, if you have any questions, just to submit them through to the panel, and Nikki will answer them for you. Multiple payments is a feature ideal for when you receive one payment from a customer, for example, a construction company that pays for more than one invoice. Like HyperPay, there's some setup in the system's options to use this feature. So to access this, we go to File, Accounts Receivable, Multiple Payment. Once again, you use the F8 to find your customer. And today we are choosing Lorraine Brown. These invoices are all her invoices that have come through in a job costed record. So they have automatically tagged the 4 invoices here, and it has totaled them down the bottom here, 13,347.95. If you choose not to, if these invoices are not all paid, you can just simply untag and they will remove them from this process. Then the payment date, you change that if required, and then you put the amount that you've received from your bank statement, which should total down the bottom here the same as the invoices that have been selected. So you pop that total amount down here in the field, and we choose the direct deposit, and then we use this little icon up the top here to distribute the payment. That takes the payment into this money received column with an end balance of 0, leaving that one that we have left untagged. This too has a preview posting where you can make sure that everything is right and that it adds up. Once you're happy with that, you go back to post the payment through to the customer order. And there it is again for your records if you wish to print it out or even save as a PDF. Another scenario for multi payment is if you have received a payment, but it actually needs to be allocated to jobs that haven't been job costed yet. So for maybe one reason or another, the job is finished, but you haven't been able to complete the job costing. What you would do there is you would open the screen here and over to the right-hand side. Now, if you've still got your little GoToMeeting box, you may need to press the orange arrow so you can see what I'm pointing at here. It's the delivered field over here, and it's got a date defaulting to today's date. If you just highlight that and delete, it takes the delivered date out. What that's going to do is if we come in here and we choose Christine Ogden, you can see here it's brought up 4 invoices. Only one of them, the top one that's highlighted, is actually job costed. And and all the others are still sitting there as unjob costed. So what we can do there is we can actually say she's not paying that, but she's paying the first 3 there. We have the total down the bottom there, the 10,554.41, which is what she's paid. And we put that in the card amount. Then we distribute the payment, which leaves the end balance as 0. And then preview. Once we're happy with that, then post. So you also have the ability to edit each record, effectively telling RFMS how much you want to allocate to each job. So how that would look is if we went to and selected Genesis Homes, and we untag those 3 there. And what it does, these ones are all in date order, so these have all got the same date. But if that top one there had been job costed 2 months ago, it would appear at the top. So the oldest invoice appears first. So if you had an amount of money come in for these 2, and it didn't add up to the 17,535 and 10 cents, you can actually still allocate it to these jobs. So say for instance we have got 17,000 that has come in. So we pop this 17,000 down here as the amount that's appeared on the bank statement. We change the date back to the date and we hit distribute. Okay, we have to change that date to reconcile to the 31st, which I should have known because the job cost is the 31st. And what it's done there, it's taken the first amount here and cleared it out, and it's taken the balance off the second job, leaving a balance of 535 and 10 cents. So this would have application, especially for your commercial customers. So your commercial customers where they are paying maybe a retention. So you have the ability to come in here before you post it and actually edit where you want each of these payments to go. So that's another fine feature of MultPay. So once again, once you're happy with what your result and you've done a preview and everything looks okay, then you post it through to the bank, or to the order, sorry. And that actually raises a question that someone has raised, which is, does HyperPay or MultPay post to the bank, or do you have to run receipt recap? And the answer is yes, you do still have to run receipt recap. This is just actually posting it to the order. It's not posting it through to the bank. But maybe watch this space, because somewhere along the line there, that might be an option which would make perfect sense to me for it to post through to the bank, especially when you're coming off the bank statement. So that's basically the overview of HyperPay and MultPay. We'd like to thank you very much for joining the webinar today. Just for a minute, I'll just make sure that Nikki has got all the questions answered that we have had sent through to us. So just one moment. Yes, there is a question here. Can you use different dates? So no, the payment sets are for today. So you can't have a payment set that has today's date and then a payment set that has yesterday's date. It's all to do with what comes through. Another application for this would be like, say for instance, administrator isn't there every day and maybe every second day, that they are actually applying the payments. They're not being done by the sales team or the other people in store. You could actually run off the report for the FPOS for each day and then put them all through in one go using HyperPay. I'll just check if there's anything else. No, that looks like all of the questions have been covered. So a copy of this webinar will be emailed out to all who've registered within 24 hours. But if you have any more questions or you'd like further training, please contact us on the toll-free number and we will be more than happy to assist. Thank you and have a great day.